Let's start with something most sellers never think about until it happens to them. You accept an offer, everything feels smooth, you're home in escrow, and you're already planning your next move. When suddenly you hear the words, "We're waiting on FHA or VA appraisal or approval," and instantly the tone of room changes. Because unlike conventional loans, FHA and VA appraisals come with rules, safety requirements, and property standards that many sellers have never even heard of. And the truth is, you don't know whether your home will pass these standards until the appraisers walks through your door. For some sellers, this is where anxiety kicks in. Not because there's something wrong with the house, because the FHA and VA loans judge houses differently than buyers do. I've seen beautiful homes, well-maintained homes, even recently updated homes get flagged to the smallest things, and I've seen older homes with original features pass with zero issue. The point is, you never know. And when FHA or VA appraiser says this needs to be fixed before the loan can close, most sellers freeze. And they wonder, is this serious? Am I about to lose my buyer? Do I have to spend a lot of money? What happens to my escrow? Can the deal fall apart? If you're a homeowner in California, especially with an older home, understanding how FHA and VA really work can save you thousands of dollars and prevent massive stress. So in today's video, we're going to break down a way no lender ever does. No blog ever explains, and no agent ever explains it clearly. We're going to talk about what an FHA and VA appraisers are actually looking for, why some homes pass and others don't, what happens the moment the appraiser flags an issue, who pays for repairs, whether you can say yes or no, how to save your escrow, and how to avoid these problems before you list your home. An FHA or VA deal falling apart does not happen because the home failed. It happens because the seller was not prepared. Hi, this is Rima Rafe. I am the team leader here at the Rafe Group with eXp Realty. And in California, Santa Clarita, if you are planning to sell your home, whether it's pristine condition, outdated, or somewhere in between, this video is going to give you the clarity every seller wishes they had before accepting an FHA or VA offer. Once you understand how FHA and VA really work, you realize that most of the issues can be fixed, negotiated, or handled strategically. The problem is simply that sellers don't get this information early enough. So let's talk about what FHA and VA loans really look for. The biggest difference between FHA VA buyers and conventional buyers is this. These loans are not just approving the borrower, they're approving the property. The home itself has to meet minimum safety and livability standards. Here in Santa Clarita and in California in general, this is especially important because we have older housing stock and we have homes built before updated building codes, and some homes with deferred maintenance, and some homes with previous additions, and homes that have cosmetic or structural wear simply due to age. So FHA and VA appraisers are trained to look for anything that could impact safety, habitability, and long-term stability of the home. So here's what usually happens next. When the FHA or VA appraisal is ordered, the appraisers goes out to the property. They're not just taking measurement and photos, they're looking for health and safety issues. Things like peeling paint, missing handrails, roof concerns, damaged flooring, broken windows, plumbing issues, electrical hazards, missing appliances that are required, signs of water leaks and damages, even things outside like detached structures, stairways. They're not judging your taste, they're not judging your decor, and they're not expecting a model home. They're strictly evaluating whether the property meets the FHA or VA requirement. When the home doesn't pass one of these standards, the appraiser will issue something called conditions or required repairs. This is not a failure report. It's basically a list of items that must be repaired before the loan can close. And this is the moment where sellers often panic. panic because they think the deal is dead. But in reality, this is where the negotiation starts, not ends. So what happens if your home does not pass? First and foremost, do not panic. This is extremely common in California. Many homes, even well-maintained ones, have small issues that FHA or VA want to address. Sometimes it's as simple as a bit of peeling paint, and sometimes missing smoke detector or a broken outlet cover, loose handrail, or some leak under the sink. These are quick, inexpensive fixes. The problem arises when sellers assume the worst without understanding the report. Once the conditions are released, your real estate agent will go over each item with you. Some repairs must be done for the loan to fund. There is no other option. The lender will not move forward unless these items are fixed, and the repairs must be done before closing because FHA and VA appraisers often come back out to verify the repairs were done correctly. Now here's a part that sellers don't often realize. Just because the repairs are required doesn't mean you are the only one who has to pay for them. This is where negotiation happens. Many sellers assume they have to fix everything, but that's not really true. You and the buyer can negotiate who pays for what. In some cases, buyers are willing to cover the cost. In other cases, they'll ask for credit. Sometimes the cost is shared. If the repairs are simple, it's often faster and easier for the seller to handle them. But if the repairs are more complex or expensive, there are multiple strategies to navigate them. The most important is, if you want to keep the FHA or VA buyer, those repairs must be completed to meet the loan requirements. You might be wondering, what if I don't want to fix anything? What if the buyer refuses to help? Great question. And this is where strategy matters. If you as a seller refuse to do the repairs and the buyer refuses to take on the cost, then the deal will fall apart. The loan cannot close without meeting FHA or VA standards. It's not negotiable with the lender. And when that happens, two things are likely to happen. You'll be back on the market, and the next FHA or VA buyer will likely request the same repairs. Why? Because the home didn't suddenly change. The condition will still be required by the next VA or FHA appraiser too. That's why many sellers choose to handle those repairs once knowing it will help any buyer using these loans program. Now let's talk about something sellers ask all the time. Should I avoid FHA and VA buyers altogether? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. FHA and VA buyers are often extremely motivated, qualified, and serious. VA buyers especially, these are veterans who deserve the opportunity to purchase with great benefits. You should never automatically discount these offers. The smartest approach is to understand the requirements before you ever go on the market. An experienced agent will walk you through your home and point out FHA VA trigger items ahead of the time so you're not blindsided later. One of the biggest benefits of FHA VA buyers, they tend to be loyal to the home they choose. They have fewer homes available that meet their criteria. They often make solid offers and they committed to seeing the deal through. What matters most is your agent's knowledge of these loan types, because the better prepared you are, the smoother transactions goes. Let's go back to the scenarios where your home doesn't pass the appraisal. The report comes back with conditions. Next come the questions sellers hate. How much will this cost me? In reality, most FHA and VA required repairs are inexpensive, like paint, handrails, smoke detectors, GFCI outlets, minor leak repairs, water heater strapping, some window fixes, strip hazard, some roof patching. These are usually minimal costs. The bigger issues like the roof replacement, major electrical problems, structural issues are rare. If they're discovered, that's a sign you needed to know about them anyway. In some cases where the required repairs are significant, we shift strategies. Maybe you as a seller offer closing cost credit to offset the repair cost. Maybe the buyer agrees to take on the repair after closing if the lenders allow a specific escrow holdback. Maybe you renegotiate price, or maybe the buyer switches to conventional financing. These are more options than the sellers realize. The key is is, FHA VA problems are solvable problems. They're not deal killers unless one side refuses to work together. Now let's talk about something most sellers never hear. Sometimes an FHA or VA buyer is actually the best buyer for your home. Here's why. Because they're emotionally committed and they're attached to the property. They want the home not because it's perfect, but because it feels right. VA buyers, especially when they want a home, they want it. Treating these buyers well often results in a smoother escrow. Now let me address something important for California sellers. A home failing FHA or VA is not a reflection of the home being bad. It's just a reflection of the loan safety standard. FHA and VA were designed to protect the buyer, not to punish the seller. At the end of the day, selling a home does not pass FHA or VA comes down to 4 things: understanding the requirements, staying calm, communicating clearly, and work strategically with your agent. So here's the bottom line. If your home does not pass VA or FHA standard, the deal is not dead. You're not out of options and you're not powerless, and you do not have to lose money. You simply need the right guidance and the right plan. If you are selling your home and you want to know exactly how to avoid FHA VA issues or how to handle repairs without losing your mind, comment FHA VA help below or reach out to me privately. I'll walk you through your options, review your situations, and give you a clear strategy to move forward confidently. I'm Rima Rafe with the Rafe Group, helping sellers navigate California real estate with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who is selling or using FHA or VA appraisal. And we'll see you on the next time.